News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. Well, Gavin Newsom making quite a claim. Let's play a little bit of what he said. Here we go.
What he's done in 3 years has been a masterclass. As a Democrat, what a gift for me to make the case for the leader of our party, Joe Biden. I have great confidence moving forward. So the answer is absolutely all in terms of the next 4 years, Joe Biden. I've seen him up close. I've seen him from far. But here's my point. It's because of his age that he's been so successful.
Absolutely. He is a wild success, and it's his age. What do you say to that? What do you think? Do you agree with Gavin Newsom that Joe Biden's age is an asset? I mean, you have, two-thirds of the Democrats, or more, like 67% of Democrats, something like that, say that he's too old? So if two-thirds of all Democrats, more than two-thirds of all Democrats say that he's too old, then what do you think? Do you think Gavin Newsom's trying to polish that turd is actually helping him out? What do you say, guys? Come on, huh? A little spit shine on there? You can polish a turd, says producer Garrett, but it's still a turd. Can I quote you on that? I just did. And what do you think the average person out there thinks? So do you agree with Gavin Newsom that Biden's age is an asset? And what do you think the average person out there thinks? And do you think Newsom is fooling the people or not? 800-288-WBAP is our number. Chime in right now, 800-288-9227. Oh, let's play. We got a little bit more. Some of this is probably the same audio, but I got a little bit more mixed into here. Let's see.
It's because of his age that he's been so successful. It's because of the wisdom and the character that's developed over years that we have the CHIPS and Science Act, the Infrastructure Bill, and the PACT Act, and the Safer Communities Act. And because we've seen these bipartisan accomplishments, because of his capacity of understanding, because of his leadership.
He is amazing. They can't keep up with him. He comes in, he demands all these questions. He's so sharp, people can't keep up with him. That's what they say in the meeting. We can't keep up with the guy. He's amazing. That's just amazing. And then I have this too. You have this is this is great. Democrat Senate hopeful. Congressman David Trone is running for Senate in his home state of Maryland. And he was asked about Joe Biden's age. It came up, and here's what he said. I've got more details on this, but I think this audio should take care of most of what he said. Are you ready? Let's see. Where was he? There he is.
I wish he was 10 years younger. Okay, I got it. Who here doesn't? I know I do. I really do. But you know what it is? It is. We do the best we can.
I wish he was 10 years younger, he says at a public political event. He's got the mic. He's on stage. I wish he was 10 years younger. Okay, I got it. Who here doesn't wish he was 10 years younger? I do know. Really, I do. But you know what it is. We do the best we can. Also, Congressman / Senate hopeful Trone says that Biden was, quote, working and firing on all cylinders. Yes. Pow, pow, pow. Does he talk slower? Yes. Does he move like he's older? Yes. But hey, guys. He's all that in a bag of chips. You wish you could, in a bag of chips, you wish you could keep up with this man. Can I tell you what was just damning? Just absolutely damning that I saw today? The Alzheimer's Association released a statement or has advice on ice cream. You know how Joe Biden was saying, let me type this in, Alzheimer's Association ice cream. I'm going to put this in because there's a statement that they did, or here it is, the power of ice cream. I'm not kidding. You know how Joe Biden says ice cream is incredible. I love it. And he was with Seth Meyers. In fact, there's some audio I'll play of him and Seth Meyers. He won't do Super Bowl interview for 3 minutes, with 150 million people watching, but he will go on. What's his name? Seth Meyers. Nobody watches that show, but a lot more people watch Gutfeld, for example, on Fox. They just do millions more. But he went on that show, and then there was a segment where they went and pre-recorded a segment where he's having ice cream, and somebody yelled a shout at a question in one of the press about Hamas and Israel and doing a negotiation. But the Alzheimer's Association has a memo that they had. It's called Alzheimer's Association Caregivers Tips and Tools. And they actually recommend Alzheimer's patients have ice cream. They say it soothes you. The brain affected by dementia gets tired. I'm reading a quotation. It gets tired earlier, and processing information becomes even more challenging at the end of the day. Many people show signs of sundowning, they call it, I guess, as a result. And dementia causes an increased frustration with all kinds of events. They talk about using ice cream as a good tool. You will never hear a person with dementia say, I'm getting a little frustrated, so I'm going to go for a little walk on the beach to clear my mind. It doesn't happen. Instead, they talk about using ice cream as a tool. And they recommend it if you have dementia, Alzheimer's. So, dude, Joe Biden's ice cream habit, how much he loves it, is ice cream. It takes all of your worries away. It's soothing and delicious and personable. Everyone has a favorite flavor, blah, blah, blah. Dementia allows one to fully enjoy the treat of ice cream with no concerns for calories, weight gain, or dietary needs, completely guilt-free. For people with dementia, ice cream is far more effective and safe than Prozac or any other happy drug on the market. If you are caring for a loved one with dementia, find out what flavor is their absolute favorite and never run out of ice cream. All caps. I'll tweet this out. It's episode number 45 of their letter they sent out to their followers on Alzheimer's Association. People that, God forbid, you or I should be calling for that for our beautiful parents that we love so much. Whatever kind of ice cream flavor you use, we always have plenty of it handy. Always have it handy. Ice cream is an essential part of your dementia care toolkit, like a Swiss Army knife that's invaluable for many occasions. I mean, this is literally what they're saying. Do you now understand why he loves ice cream so much? Oh, wow. Sad. Here is Biden on Seth Meyers, and he loses his train of thought and does the, anyway, kind of, because he doesn't, kind of trails off.
How do you address that concern going forward as you come up to the 2024 election?
Well, a couple things. Number one, you got to take a look at the other guy. He's about as old as I am, but he can't remember his wife's name.
Yeah.
And, number one. Number two, it's about how old your ideas are. Look, I mean, this is a guy who wants to take us back. He wants to take us back on Roe v. Wade. He wants to take us back on a whole range of issues that are 50, 60 years. They've been solid American positions. And I really mean this sincerely. I think it's about the future. And every single thing we've done, I think we've got some good things done. Everything, and they told us we couldn't get them done because things were so divided. And but I think everything we've gotten done, he's just friendly stated he wants to do away with if he gets elected. And I really think his views on where to take America are older than. Anyway, I don't want to get
anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, well, I mean, there are raging liberals that go to that show like The View and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, they're going to hump his leg and cheer for him. A former Obama aide you're going to hear coming up next talks about frail and mumbling Biden, warning his age is a very real issue. I mean, who's telling the truth here? And we've got some other sad news for Joe Biden versus Trump and everything. As Trump tonight beat Nikki Haley by 37 points. I might be extra. I think it's 40 now. Wait. Oh my gosh, you guys. It is 37, 47, 57. So it's by 40 points. He beat her by 40 freaking points now. Trump beat Nikki Haley by 40 points in Michigan. All right, my question for you. I want to hear from you right now at 800-288-WBAP. 800-288-9227. Do you agree with Governor Gavin Newsom that Joe Biden's age is an asset? And what do you think the average person out there thinks? Is Newsom fooling the people or not? How about you? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Also, Jack Smith says Trump's case is nothing like Biden's case with the documents. Holy crap. We'll ask you what you think about that, and we'll tell you the story next.
He said, and I want to make sure I get the quote exactly right. He said, the better angels, he said, we must address the council and address the better angels of our nature. And we do well to remember what else he said. He said, we're not enemies, but we're friends. It's in the part of the Civil War.
That was just 2-3 days ago. And he's doing great. We can trust him. He's our guy. All the Democrats say he's sharper than everybody. He keeps everybody on their feet. And nobody can keep up with him anymore because he's just so fast. What do you think? You think Joe Biden is sharp as a tack? You think his age is a benefit? Do you agree with Gavin Newsom when he says that? It's an asset, his age? And what do you think the average person out there thinks? And you think the Democrats like Newsom and others are fooling people when they say that? Or do you think not? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP. Also, a former one of the chief speechwriters for former President Hussein Obama was on a big liberal podcast, and Fox News was playing that this afternoon on the 5. I want to play this for you. Listen to what the former chief speechwriter for President Hussein Obama at the time said.
If you watch Joe Biden speak, oftentimes he sounds frail, and he sounds more frail than he used to, even in 2019 and 2020. Now, that may, and I think doesn't, have anything to do with how sharp he is mentally, but the voice sounds frail, and he shuffles more because of the arthritis in his back. So for most people in the country who are just watching him be president, what do they see when they turn on the television? They see him shuffle, and they hear him, and he's swallowing a lot more of his words. Now, obviously, he's had a stutter, but it doesn't sound like the stutter did even in 2020. He's just soft-spoken and quiet.
Do you remember there was an interview that he did where they were grilling him hard in like 2021? I just saw on it was an NBC reporter. I think it was on a train, and there were several of the long kind of mics around him and her, and she was grilling him. And even then, guys, in 2021, he sounds good compared to now. I mean, it's amazing. It really is. It's profound. And it's certainly not going to get better in the next 6 or 8 months. I really don't see how he's going to debate Trump. I just don't. I don't. And we're in a bad way with our country and our president, and such. But I do want to tell you about this, too. A few more election notes on this. Then we're going to get into Jack Smith. He is such a hyper-partisan absolute hyper-partisan hack. Just got more breaking news in from Fox News. Bill Melugin, you're not going to believe this. Okay, Bill Melugin even is saying what I've been thinking for 48 hours. I've been telling this. He literally tweeted this, I think in the past hour. Can't keep up with these stories at this point, Bill Melugin tweets. Now media in Louisiana are reporting an illegal alien from Honduras has been arrested for the rape of a 14-year-old girl at knife point. I'm going to have to go over these one by one because it's now uncountable. He raped a 14-year-old girl in Louisiana, a new illegal that's being mentioned at knife point, and he stabbed another man repeatedly during a robbery. An ICE detainer has been lodged. Joe Biden is raping and murdering and killing and sexually assaulting our women, our children, and our daughters all over this country. So now, guys, just because this, I gotta share this with you as it comes in real time. You have an illegal who was arrested for raping a child in Virginia yesterday. You have an illegal who was arrested for raping a woman in Florida yesterday. You have an illegal who was arrested for raping a child in Boston yesterday. You have an illegal who was arrested for murdering a UGA student 2 days ago. And now you have a new illegal who's arrested for Louisiana for raping a 14-year-old girl at knife point and then stabbing a man. This is, I mean, we can't count the rapes, the murders, and the sexual assaults of our children, our women, and our daughters anymore. That's in 1 week. We can't count them anymore. I don't know what the American population is going to do, but, I mean, do you not understand what the message is here? You're going to be hurt, subjugated, violated, or murdered. In Colorado, a suburb I just told you about too, another illegal who murdered 2 people by slamming into him in a car. A 16-year-old girl and her mom killed. He killed her. He was deported 4 times. I'm breathless. This is on my Twitter feed. All these follow me on Twitter at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show. CHRASKROK. I want to get to by the way, Trump is now closing with Biden on young voters real fast. It's gone from 20-point favoring Biden to now, I think, in the single digits. And then Democrats are losing ground tremendously with blacks and Hispanics, too. None of this means we got it in the bag. Don't think we do. Never think we do until we already got it in the bag, okay? Trump leads Biden in 7 out of 7 swing states real fast, and then we're going to go to Jack Smith in a moment. Wisconsin, he's up by 3 over Biden. Pennsylvania, he's up by 2 over Biden. Nevada, he's up by 6 over Biden. Michigan, up by 2 over Biden. Georgia, up by 6 over Biden. Arizona, up by 3 over Biden. Not enough, but we're getting there real well. All right, coming up next, Jack Smith says the documents case against Trump is nothing like the one against Biden. Why that's BS next. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. Chris Crock Show. And a stunning, massive landslide victory. Donald J. Trump defeating Joe Biden, but defeating Nikki Haley by 40 freaking points. 40.6 points. 40.6 points. That's just amazing. I mean, good night. How could she even want to run? She looks like an idiot, doesn't she? You lose 40 points. Well, we're doing so good. We're the alternative. I mean, the numbers get worse throughout the night. My gosh. Yeah. Oh, Nikki Haley said, quote, Trump is pushing people from the GOP. It doesn't look like it. She ought to get her head checked. Maybe she's got dementia like Joe. I mean, my gosh. Trump calling her bird brain is making more sense, isn't it? Oh, look at this. Now, Jack Smith, look, I've come to see how insanely partisan he is. I mean, he literally is a partisan hack. He is a bulldog for Joe Biden. He is Joe Biden's bulldog. That's all he is. He's not a Justice Department official. He's a partisan Democrat empowered by the tools of the DOJ to take down Joe Biden's political opponent. By the way, speaking of Joe Biden, I just tweeted out here, Joe Biden's ice cream habit makes sense now. Alzheimer's Association, quote, ice cream is an essential part of your dementia care toolkit, like Swiss Army knife that's available for many occasions. And I have the link to it so you can see the Alzheimer's Association newsletter that just came out apparently that says that. That's why Joe loves his ice cream. Seriously. I mean, it makes sense. Jack Smith says the defendants, he says that there's nothing like Joe Biden's case with Trump. It's not the same at all. Lie. It is 31 counts for Donald J. Trump of willful retention of documents. That's the same thing Joe Biden got. And Joe Biden had over 300 separate documents. Not batches, but he had like over 300 documents that were top secret, SCI, top secret classified. Does not get any higher than that, including weapons and the war reports from Afghanistan and other, I think from, could be China, or is it, I can't remember, there was, Ukraine. There was a couple different ones, but it was over 300 documents. And they were in ripped up old binders just sitting in his garage. They were in his basement in his house. And in fact, we now know that he told his autobiographer, or shadow biographer, wherever he is, to go downstairs in the basement, and his classified documents are down there. Told him to get them. So he deleted those tapes. His autobiographer or shadow biographer, whatever you call the guy, he deleted the tapes once he found out the feds were investigating. But don't worry, Joe's fine. He is too frail, has no memory, and is too elderly and frail, and doesn't even know when his son died. He brought up his son's death. He couldn't remember when he died, what year. He had no idea what year. Didn't know what years he was senator. Didn't know what years. Well, didn't know what years he was vice president. And he brought all this up. Her didn't try to nail him on that. NBC News reported that, of all places. Jack Smith comes out today. This is from Fox News. Responds in a blistering hurt to the blistering her report for the first time. Says Biden and Trump cases are not similar. I'm laughing as hard as Ray Liotta does in that mobster picture that we've all the meme. You know what I mean, where he's laughing. I want to hear from you on this. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Do you see any difference between Joe Biden's classified documents case and Donald Trump's? Do you think the Trump case and the Biden case are rigged against Trump and for Biden? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. I want to hear from you. Do you see any difference between Biden's classified documents case and Donald Trump's? And do you think the Trump case is rigged against him and the Biden case is rigged for him, as we've seen? I sure do. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. Jack Smith, in a 12-page filing yesterday, countering Trump's motion to dismiss the indictment based on selective and vindictive prosecution. It serves as Smith's first response to the blistering her report. He says it's not even remotely the same for Biden. No, Biden was a senator when he stole tons of top secret SCI, the highest classification documents. He was a senator. Senators cannot even take they can't take any documents out of the SCIF. They have no rights to take anything that's classified out. They can't even take notes and take it out of the SCIF. Your notes have to be left in a burn bag or whatever it is they do to destroy the document. You can't take any notes and leave with them. You can't take anything with you. Nothing. And Joe Biden just stole the documents like Sandy Berger, the former Clinton official. And then, of course, as vice president, he stole a bunch of classified documents. He had no business having any of them. The vice president cannot obtain or have any classified documents on his person, cannot leave with them. Only the president can declassify things. Only the president can take documents with them that are classified. No one else can. Only the president. So he stole them. There's no question. He stole them. You don't just happen to have them. He stole them as a vice president and particularly as a senator, United States senator. Jack Smith said the defendants have not identified anyone who is engaged in a remotely similar suite of willful and deceitful criminal conduct and has not been prosecuted, nor could they. Indeed, the comparators on which they rely are readily distinguishable. Big words, but you're still wrong and everybody knows it. He writes, as the Her report itself recognizes several material distinctions between Trump's case and Biden's are clear. Most notably, Trump, unlike Biden, has alleged to have had extensive and repeated efforts to obstruct justice, thwart the documents, because he was the president, and presidents can hang out with stuff. So I do agree that he should have ultimately just given it back, but it's the same thing that Biden did. I see no difference, and it's willful retention of documents, and that's exactly what Biden was charged with. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Do you think the Trump case and Biden case are rigged against Trump and rigged for Biden, as I do? And do you see any difference between Biden's classified documents case and Trump's? It's just an insanely overt and naked partisan attempt to remove the president, and it's done nothing but drive people to him. And the ridiculous quotations I'm seeing from Nikki Haley tonight that Trump is driving Republicans away. How can you say that, ma'am, when you lost in the Republican primary in Michigan tonight by 40 freaking points, lady? You lost by 40 points. He's 67, you're at 27. What are you talking about is driving away Republicans? I promised to get to this tonight as well. What would happen without a leap day? More than you might think. I'm going to share that with you coming up next at 10:45 on the Chris Crock Show. And why Americans are so down on a strong economy. That is an interesting one, too. And, I want to ask you, too, when we get into that coming up next to the Chris Crock Show, are you down in the economy, too? As you'll hear several Americans from all over the country, partisan, nonpartisan, Democrat, liberal, independent, Republican, conservative. All that's coming up next on the Chris Crock Show on Newstalk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Newstalk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. Chris Crock Show, of course. So here's the deal. I want to get into this leap year day because I didn't know much about this, or leap day, I guess. We have a leap day because when I was looking at the calendar, I'm like, oh, it's a shorter month, the 28th, and I saw 29th. I'm like, oh, I know what that is. And why does it exist? And what would happen if we didn't use it? Do you know, Producer Garrett, do you have any idea how important leap year or leap day is, honestly? You're annoyed by it. Yes. Now, so... And you don't know why though, do you? Why we have, okay? This is why this is a real good one that we mentioned we'd talk about tonight, because I didn't know either. Now the Dallas Morning News spends like way too much going into the history. It's like no, just tell me why it is and what it means to us. And I have that for you. Just a few little tidbits from this 5 or 6 page story that was like a book. Why do they do that? Because they think they're so important. Anyways. The reason why we have leap year is because you want to keep the months in sync with annual events, including equinoxes and solstices. This is from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or as I like to say, laboratory. The Jet Propulsion Laboratory at the California Institute of Technology. It's a correction to counter the fact that the Earth's orbit isn't precisely 365 days a year. Did you know that? The Earth's orbit is not exactly 365 days a year. The trip takes 6 hours longer than that. Do you see this? So the Earth doesn't orbit precisely at 365 days a year. It is 365 days a year and 6 years. So then, think of it this way, guys. How does that work? If we gain 6 hours per year, what happens in 4 years? Can you do the math, Producer Garrett? If we gain 6 hours a year, because there's only 365 days in a year, right? But the Earth's orbit needs 6 more hours every year. So how many years will we need to make it a full day? 6 times 4 is? So we would need how many leap years to get a leap day? How often do we have a leap day? How many years? That's right, 4 years. Why is it 4 years? Because 6 times 4 is? And so 24 means a day, 24 hours, 1 day. So that's why we do this! Aha! I would like to talk to you about the leap year and the pudding pops. What? Isn't that crazy, though? So that makes sense, though, doesn't it? Because here's what they say. Actually, and if we didn't do this, it would get worse and worse every year, wouldn't it? Because in 4 years, the Earth would be behind by 1 day. But in 8 years, it'd be behind by 2 days. In 12 years, we'd be behind by 3 days. What would eventually happen, according to the Dallas Morning News, is, actually this is according to a physics instructor at University of Alabama, Birmingham, UAB, without the leap years, after a few hundred years, because it obviously would take a long time, it's every 4 years, but listen, after a few hundred years, we would have summer in November. And we would have Christmas in the summer. There would be no snow, there would be no feeling of Christmas. So wait, we're doing it all because of our feelings? What's that, producer Garrett? Crikey, it's how they have it in Australia. Crikey. I still haven't mastered that accent. Crikey. I'm still like, I watch the show every once in a while with the Australian accent and I have to rewind it and pause it. I can't do it yet. I know a few little things, but I need to study it more. Do you know that the koala bears that everybody here thinks are cute are nasty in reality? Like very nasty. They eat garbage. They eat junk. They eat anything, but they'll go into garbage. They have many of them, like overwhelming amounts of them. I'm not making this up. Have syphilis and like gonorrhea or something, or syphilis and chlamydia or something, because they're tremendously sexually active and they can get as a mammal. Crikey, they can get diseases. So they're actually apparently a lot of people in Australia, if not many of them, most of them, I think they're filthy, nasty animals because of that. And so what we think is cute, they think is nasty. That's nasty. I don't know how they would say it. Why are Americans so down on the economy? I want to hear from you as well on this at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Are you down on the economy too, and why? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Well, maybe because we're being told by Kellogg's president to eat cereal for dinner. Did you see that he said that today? The president of Kellogg, the cereal manufacturer, literally tweeted out, the cereal category has always been quite affordable, and it tends to be a great destination when consumers are under pressure. Cereal for dinner is something that is probably more on trend now, and we would expect to continue as consumer is under pressure. Okay, cereal, most of them are obesity thing. It's sugar. Like the number one ingredients or number two ingredients is sugar. And almost any cereal that's on the shelf is bad for you. And I will tell you, there's a very high-protein, low-carb cereal that I get. And it's not because I like cereal. It's because it is a snack that I can take the proper amount, 1 cup, the serving, put it in a bag, you know what I mean, a baggie, and have it anywhere I want. So I have high-protein, low-carb things, and the cereal I get is incredible. It really is. But this is not dinner. This is, what are they going to do next? Have us eat cat food? Right? Is cat food next? Remember they said we were going to make people eat cat food, Republicans or conservatives? No, they're the ones who are leading us to cat food. But here's a lengthy piece in the Wall Street Journal, just a few highlights. Why Americans are so down on the strong economy. Many feel their long-term financial security is vulnerable to wide-ranging social and political threats. A truck driver in North Carolina, a nurse in Ohio, a restaurant entrepreneur owner in Nashville, in the Nashville areas, all saying this. They're not feeling hope, says the restaurateur. They're not feeling one country. They're feeling a divisive, divided United States of America. Oh, Joe was hired to heal us and bring us together. He's done the opposite. He vilifies half of Americans, hates us, and acts like it. Albany, New York. A woman says, every time I go to the store, I'm shocked by the prices. She earns more than $200,000 combined with her husband's income, which is probably like making 130 here. I'm not kidding you. I wish maybe 140, but that really is like 130 or 40 a year here, but that still is more than enough. I feel like we're really on thin ice, she said. That it's really fragile. I mean, dude, she makes $200,000 combined, and she feels like she's on thin ice. What upsets her is the government continues to spend money while racking up blunders such as botched withdrawal of U.S. forces in Afghanistan. It wasn't botched. Joe did did it on purpose. It wasn't botched. He wanted to go that way, and it worked the way he wanted. He said it was great. I feel like no matter what they tell me about the economy, they don't really know because they don't have a coherent plan, she says. Can you imagine looking back on Afghanistan? We're the most powerful country in the world, and we debased ourselves in front of the world. A 30-year-old person who is in school to become a teacher, I don't think the American dream still exists. I don't think it's attainable anymore. Well, Joe Biden's led us to this point, is what I say. A world that's very unstable with this economic uncertainty, says the restaurateur who's originally from Nicaragua. He says he's right of center politically and will vote reluctantly for Trump this year if he's the GOP nominee. Amen, brother man. Amen.